Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. I know it has been a hot minute since I have posted. Life just decided to be crazy and we decided to just ride that wave until we were in a position where we would get back to posting. So I'm back. Do not really want to get into the nitty-gritties of what actually happened, but yeah, mambo ilitendeka venye ilitendeka, And then also the one aspect of lifing for the past few months that I'm actually comfortable talking about is the fact that I was scrolling through TikTok, like I think Jana Majuzi, and I came across JK Nyambura's TikTok, and she was talking about how her previous week she almost died, and the amount of relatability I had with that babe at that moment was like, yo, because the past week people have been getting sick and it's not even been funny. I don't even understand like what is happening, but I thank God imepita adi, because adi mimi I was, yo, it was a whole struggle. But anyway, we thank God we are alive, we are well, we're doing good. We're doing good. So let's just dive into the videos at the moment. Cindy, I was doing my devotion yesterday, and I'm actually going to, because that yesterday's verse of the day and today's verse of the day are going to be what are going to anchor the whole conversation I'm going to have with you guys. So yeah, I don't have my physical Bible right now with me, but I still have my Bible app, so I'm still going to use that. So the first verse which I read yesterday, which was on the that Bible app, which is okay. I've said so much, but the first verse that I wanted us to delve into is in Isaiah 61. So it's Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1, right? So it says, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Arise, shine, for the light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. That's the first verse. So it was speaking majorly on, okay, layman, arise, shine. Cindy, arise, shine. It speaks basically on the beauty of waking up and actually doing, like, if you take shine within its own context, it means like really illuminating light and not dimming for any particular purpose or for any individual, right? So the idea is, when you have breath within your being, you wake up and you grind and you do your best, right? Layman explanation. Then the second one, which is today's verse of the day, is in Matthew 5:16. So let me just read the text for you. Matthew 5:16. It says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Both instances speak on light, both instances speak on shining, right? So the correlation between these two, because when I read through today's verse of the day, I was like, there's a sort of repetitiveness with regard to the verses that I am interacting with this week. So I figured, I don't think that is a coincidence. So basically, my understanding of it has been that when one gets saved, there's a sort of transformation that's happening from the inside out. Sindio, the blessing of having the Holy Spirit dwell within ourselves so that we are able to do the works that God has called us to do with a certain ease, um, unlike when we choose to do it by ourselves, right? Apart from the Holy Spirit. So these two verses, the main thing that struck out to me was the fact that the light is required for illumination so that the people around you are able to see that um, maybe they're able to see where they're supposed to go, they're able to see what they're supposed to put down. Because when when light rather is introduced into a dark environment, you are able to see the cracks, the crevices, the problems, the issues that will not be visibly seen if the light was absent. Cindy. So we are not only called to be the ones to step into dark areas, but we are also called to be the ones to ensure that once we have received the gift of salvation, we do not hide ourselves away, causing others to continue stumbling where they would have been walking upright with the help of our light. Make sense? Yeah. So this really spoke to me, especially because it took me some bit of time to get the courage to come back online and speak, because having gone through the madness that I went through during this period of time, I figured that now that I have gone through these things, there are aspects of the consequences that have resulted in the decisions I made, making me feel disqualified to speak about Christ to others. And it placed me in a very dark place for a very long time, to the point of um, dwindling belief, because I can't say unbelief, because I already, the way you interact with God and then you stop interacting with Him, but you can't necessarily renounce Him, because you know that for a fact He really actually exists. Because how then do you explain the feelings, the emotions to anyone else if He is not real? So for a fact, I know that He is real, but it's been because of so much silence that I'm like, is He really listening to what I'm saying? Is He really interested in what I'm saying, even, um so it got me into a very dark rabbit hole. And I feel like I've gotten back to square one of getting to know Him again, which is a journey I am 100% willing to take. There's an aspect of nothingness in my life when I exclude Him from how I want to live my life, and then a sort of warmth that I can't really necessarily pinpoint or explain, that then starts coming up and bubbling, and you just feel there's so much worth living for, and then also the aspect of so much hopelessness when you're doing it on your own, and then so much hopefulness when you're doing it with Him. So I have been on the fence for a very long time on what I should do and what I should not do. And in me being on the fence, I have been I have seen my light dim more and more and more, because of not having that kind of genuine relationship that I've had with God, right? Um, I was looking at the analogy of a candle, right? With regard to the texts that we've interacted with. A candle does not make its own light, but its main purpose is to illuminate light. Illuminate. let's say illuminate for lack of better context, but for it to be able to illuminate the light, it has to be like the wick lazima iwashwe, si ndio, na matchstick ama na, you know, ndio, like, so that you're able to have light in the various places that you want the light to be in. So if you choose to stand as a candle by yourself, you'll never really be lit. So the idea of arising and shining, the idea of being the light to other people so that Christ is seen in you, stops being a concept, because now you, how do you, okay, you can try to look for other ways of being lit, but then it might end up destroying the very nature of the candle. But once you look for the best way to be able to be lit, which is like in Christ, you're able to shine and you're able to do all that you were manufactured to do before your demise, wax emailed. Cindy. Um, I know I'm really rambling and going on and on and on about it, but I just felt like it is important to remind ourselves as people who have chosen to walk the walk of faith that it is not easy. It is not easy, but it is so worth it. It is beautiful to see who you are in the past with zero condemnation, because that's who you needed to be at that time to survive. And then now seeing how far you've come and having an understanding that He actually has my best interest at heart, you know. And even in the moments where there is silence, a reminder is, are you really seeking Him as much as you were seeking Him in the beginning, or when you needed something, or when you are celebrating something, or has it become a routine? It's very dangerous to cause your relationship with Christ to be like a to-do list, because now from there it's more performative than it is relational, you know. So you really have to ensure that you check your heart every single day to have an understanding of what is happening. You know, the craziest thing about sleeping, and I have a video on sleep apps. I'm supposed to also listen to my own advice, so you could check that out. The funny thing about sleeping is sleeping with SLIP, not okay, sleeping like, you know, slip away, right? So the dangerous part about sleeping is it's so um it's so quiet. You never really notice the cracks appearing. You never really notice, you know, where you get to a point where you're like, hey, life is so overwhelming. There's just so much going on. There's this, there's that, there's this, there's that. Not understanding that you can't necessarily do life by yourself outside of the will of God, especially if you have chosen to have that kind of partnership. Not that when you have decided to have a partnership with God, it's now at you can do whatever you want. You really can. That's the beauty and the danger of free will. You literally can do whatever you want. But then the beauty of Christ is there's this way. This has nothing to do with me. And then there's this way, which has everything to do with me. It is going to make you so fulfilled, so filled with purpose. You're going to live how I want you to live, because I know that is the best way for you to live. And then there's this way, which is so fun and worldly and enticing to the flesh, which you can also choose, you know. But you know that once you choose this route, you are definitely going to do it all on your own, right? So on to motivation. Let me try and mesh them together. Continue. All of us can agree but the most disgusting, and I'm saying it from the depth of my heart, the most disgusting thing ni alarm ya asubuhi. Like, what is even that? What is even that? I had someone being interviewed and being asked, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? And they started talking about this many things that they do, da, 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 and everything. Bro, me, it's trying my best not to cry to a point of flooding the whole country. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? You know, slumber time is over. Sorry about that. What do you mean? I'm supposed to wake up. What do you mean? I'm supposed to conquer the day. Like, me, I just want to sleep. You know, I'm just children. Like, what are you saying? But nonetheless, the alarm rings, and the second craziest thing is you have to make the decision on whether you wake up and actualize everything that you said that you're going to do, or you're going to choose to snooze or sleep. Because snoozing, let's just talk about it. Snoozing, Mimi, if you're a snoozer, I will slap you on sight. You know, at if you snooze and you still wake up on time, I will slap you on sight. But if you're that kind of snoozer, like me, mwenye ana snoozingi, una snooze, you find out that you snoozed for the past 2 hours. Gather here, gather here. Snoozing, let's not even talk about it. Anyway, so the idea is either you choose to wake up immediately and do the things that you said that you are going to do, or you can choose to snooze or continue sleeping and say tomorrow. Sindio? That famous quote of one day or day one. Sindio? It's been very heavy on me these days. As one who has been in the procrastination society, I will hold your hand, my guys, and tell you, run away from procrastination. Run away from thinking that you'll have tomorrow. Thinking that nitaifanya kesho. Nakwambia utaamka kesho. Life has a funny way of reminding you that you are actually not as much in charge of life in general as you think. You are in charge of the decisions you make, and you're also in charge of taking on the consequences that come with the decisions you make. But then, arise, shine, arise, shine. The beauty of taking up the day and making the most out of it. You know, there's this guy. What's his name? I think he's called David Goggins. Akiva butchered his name. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have it on the side. Please tap up my space. Yeah, I'm going to have it on the side, including the two verses that I started with. I think it's called David Goggins. He was talking about how the kind of life you envision for yourself, especially from uh, fitness point of view, because he's more into fitness than a lot of other things. So he was talking about like it is going to suck. There's no day you're going to wake up and you're like, yeah, working out, yes, do what it is going to suck. But guess what? You have to you gotta do your thing. You gotta do your best, man. Cause like, what else are you going to do? Not get that body that you want. Not get into that diet that you want. Not use your body to the maximum capacity that it can be able to get to just because you're bored, just because you're tired, just because you're afraid. But then maybe to me and ni fear. You're thinking, okay, today I'll get it right, but what about tomorrow? What about tomorrow? So it's like, baby girl, who even told you unaweza fika tomorrow? Who even told you that unaweza fika the next hour? So when Christ was telling us, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself, he wasn't just telling us nonsense. He was telling us, bro, like, you focus na sahi, because this is the only time you have the opportunity to bend and shift things to your advantage or disadvantage. Sindio. So this is going to be a very short video, but I just figured wacha nianze my rambling back again, So take two things from my sijui niseme video, sijui niseme motivation, like maze lazima ujikaze. Wacha. One, the first thing you're supposed to do is to understand that the light that has been placed within you by Christ is for you to be able to illuminate to others. A light is supposed to be beneficial to those around it. Sindio? One. Number two, lazima ujikaze. Lazima ujikaze. Remember when I talked about spiritual maturity and the fact that as much as you'd want to hear God in this certain ways and this and everything like that, He also wants you to be able to have a conversation with Him. Don't be so absent in your relationship with Him and think that now things are going to work out perfectly. Oh, like take the time to build the relationship with God and bring it before Him when you're feeling the way I was feeling a couple of weeks ago. I was like, does God even actually exist? Like, am I doing this for nothing and stuff like that? And allow Him to answer the question Himself. He hasn't answered me yet with regard to whether He's alive or not, but I feel it within my being when I speak to Him. I feel it within my being when I make decisions and I weigh in what He says about various aspects of life. So that is definitely a conversation I'm going to continue having with my king. But yeah, changamka, like changamka, like there's no other choice. There's lazima to make it, making it um in a legal way. Acha tuanzie hapo, make it in a legal way. Don't get crazy. Don't be crazy, sawa. But lazima to make it in a legal way, disclaimer. And if you choose to take the narrow path, take it. It is tougher than many others, but it is very rewarding. you know so yeah, I'm going to do my best to be consistent going forward, like I was when I started. But yeah, let me yeah, I got you guys. But anyway, I hope that you guys are going to have a beautiful week ahead. Today is Tuesday. I pray that you guys have an amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, it's Tuesday now when I'm recording, but I don't know when I'm going to drop it. But whatever day of the week it's going to be, it's definitely going to be dropped before the end of the week. But whatever day it is, I am really praying for you guys and I am rooting for you all the way. Right? Oh yeah, update yenye amkuwa mnataka kujua but lazima bado niwaambie. I shaved my hair again. I shaved my hair again. I don't know if this is a thing. This girlies who shave their heads. Did I stumble into madness when I decided to shave my hair? Because tell me how convenient it is for me, and I thank God I still look good. So that is a plus for me. Anyway, could ramble for days. I hope you guys have an amazing week ahead, and I will see you on my next one. Bye, guys.